My name is Asad Yaqub. I'm your IELTS speaking examiner. Are you ready to take the test?
Yes, sir.
Good. Do you work or study?
Sir, currently I'm working as a graphic designer. I do job at Virtual University of Pakistan.
Okay, that's very good. So, are you ready to take your IELTS speaking
Yes,
test?
sir.
All right, let's take a start. I'm going to talk to you about numbers. Are you good at remembering numbers?
Not at all. I don't think so, because every time whenever someone tell me their phone number or any house number or anything like numbers, I forget it.
Okay, you said someone tell me. It should be someone tells me. We call it subject verb agreement, right? So you should focus this thing. Do you often use numbers?
I often use numbers at whatever I recall. Then I easily forget that numbers too, so that I don't think so. Okay, I am easy with numbers.
Okay, so you can just talk about the use of numbers. For example, do you often use numbers? Yes, I always use numbers, especially when my mobile is with me. I want to talk to one of my friends, I dial their number. On the other hand, whenever I go for shopping and I purchase something, so I look at the numbers, the price and all that. So numbers are very important in my life and I always use them.
Yes.
Something like, you know, patakha jawab, cracker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Is there any special number you like?
Actually, I don't like numbers, as I told you later. But as I told you before, but 7 number is almost my favorite, because everything 3 and 7, I almost whatever I have done with odd numbers like 3 and 7, because maybe it's a religious point of view, so that I like 3 and 7 numbers.
Okay, so these two numbers are my most favorite. I like them very much. Add some emphasis and some intensity. Right. Intensity is, for example, I like these numbers. No intensity. Oh, for these reasons, I love these numbers a lot. Some intensity, right? Let's go on. Do you think people will depend on manual calculations in the future?
In future, I think everything is on mobile. Our calculator and telephone directory, everything in mobile. I don't think so. Okay, in future people should use any kind of these memorable things, so easily go to the mobile.
Okay, so my question was about calculations. So do you think people will do calculations in the future? So you could just talk about that. All right, one last question. All right, I've forgotten the question actually. I'm making some questions on my own, right? But anyways, that's fine. It's all about numbers. Right. Yeah, what is the importance of number in our life? Or what is the importance of numbers in our life?
Mostly people are very keen observer about numbers, but I don't think so. Okay, it's important. It's a superstitions.
They are important. Numbers are plural, so we should use they. And I'm talking about importance of numbers in our life, not the palmistry or anything like that. I'm just talking about simple numbers and the importance of numbers in our life. Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir. Other hand, numbers are very important in our life, because our ID card numbers and cell phone numbers all depend on numbers. So I think numbers are very important.
All right, that's good. So in part 1, there are grammatical mistakes you need to overcome. Number 2, understanding of the questions. That is very important, because if your answer is irrelevant, examiner will immediately ask you the next question, and you'll be surprised why. Because when the answer is irrelevant, they don't allow you to talk. They ask you the next question, right? Now, we move on with IELTS speaking part 2, and your topic is describe a place you visited that has been affected by pollution, right? You have 1 to 2 minutes to speak on the topic now.
So actually pollution is a big problem in everywhere. Wherever wherever we see, the pollution is everywhere. Pollution is a very big problem in these days. Hardly we can find any place without pollution, with any place. Here I am talking about pollution which I was here I am talking about a city which I visited last month. Karachi. Karachi is a very populated city, and here is all sort of pollution like air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, all type of pollutions are there, and I was very afraid of that when I visited at that place often time because my many relatives lived there. Whenever I visited there, I was suffering from fever and coughing, and my my face was red, and eyes very red. So that I think is that the biggest it's a very richest city of Pakistan. I think it can be overcome with this pollution too.
All right, you spoke for 1 minute 40 seconds and you are mainly talking about your personal experience, whereas the topic is about place, where it is, when you visited this place, what kind of pollution you saw there, and explain how this place was affected. So instead of describing your personal experience, which could be added to this, but mainly you should have talked about that. Then there were some grammatical mistakes, as you said, someone tell me, it should be someone told me. Then you said I am talking about a city, so you should say I would like to talk about a city. That's even better. Then you said I'm afraid, like it should have been I am afraid or something like that. And then you said often time. Instead of often time, you should say regularly. I visited that city regularly, or I have been to that city many times. Instead of often time, you can use that. But mainly you should focus the place, not like you said I had fever and my face turned red and all that. So you should just focus the place. And these type of mistakes were there. Let's move on with speaking part 3. What kinds of pollution are there in your country?
In my country, every sort of pollution is there, like air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution. All over the country, I think it's hardly we find any place without pollution.
Okay, listen, there is one thing we call it signposting. You talked about water pollution, noise pollution,
air pollution.
So instead of talking about these 3 things in 3 words, it's a good idea to speak 3 sentences. The question is, what kind of pollutions are there, or what kinds of pollution are there in your country? Well, in my country, the most serious type of pollution is the noise pollution. Because of many factories and vehicles on the road, some of these vehicles are very old and noisy. So I think this is the main type of pollution in my country. On the other hand, we also have water pollution. Then you can talk about that. And finally, the third type of pollution is and then you can talk about that. So don't talk about 3 things in 3 words. Talk about 3 things in first of all, secondly, and then finally, right? Let's go on. What can individuals do to protect our environment?
Everybody should to protect our environment by eco-friendly atmosphere. We can easily overcome that pollution. We should have to avoid plastic bags and polythenes. Like we can use individually. We can handle this problem too.
All right. Do you think individuals should be responsible for pollution?
Yes, I think individual can be very helpful for this whole environment that we can create it. We can overcome this pollution, this problem too easily by different ways.
All right. So your main issue is your sentence structure. You need to correct that. You should see just the subject, verb and object, and the sentences should be proper. Somehow with this type of speaking, you may score around 6 band. When I say around 6 band, if the examiner is strict, it could be 5.5. If the examiner is normal, then you can easily get 6 band with it. But your main area or main reason for low band is your sentence structure. You should overcome that, right? All the best. Thank you.
Okay.